Hey everyone, Mary Cristelli with PCC Wellness and Rec, back with another weekly workout. We'll hop right into our warm-up this week. As it's been this whole time, we'll do 30 seconds of each movement, 2 times through. We're going to start standing and doing some alternating leg swings. Again, if you take my class, we call these Frankenstein Kicks. So what we're doing is you're just going to stand up straight and you're just alternating, kicking one leg forward and the other, getting a nice stretch in the back of the leg. So you'll do the alternating leg swings or Frankenstein kicks for 30 seconds. Then you'll switch into a squat, moving into a forward fold. So you're just going to squat down, hinge at the hips, straighten your legs, back and forth. So nice squat into a forward fold. From the side, that's just squatting and then straightening, again, stretching the back of those legs. So you'll do that for 30 seconds. Then alternating star reaches, these are new. So you're gonna have a nice wide-legged stance and spreading your arms out to the side, and we're just alternating over, crossing, touching the opposite hand to the opposite foot, stretching out the insides of our thighs, a little bit on the back, on your hamstrings. You'll do those for 30 seconds, then body hugs, which I love. Just, I'm swapping which arm is on top. You can do that as well. Body hugs for 30 seconds, then bent arm circles. So have a nice wide-legged stance. We have done these before. We're gonna hinge at the hips. I like to pretend that there's like a giant pot of something here on the floor, like soup or some other type of thing that you can stir. So you're gonna go one way for about 15 seconds, alternate and go the other way. Then you'll switch and do 30 seconds on the opposite arm. So you'll stir the pot for about 15 seconds one way, switch and stir back the opposite way. And then this is another new one. I call them upper wall walks. We're stretching out our upper back with these. And so what we do is you'll find a wall. This is not great. So you're gonna stand just in front of the wall, walking your feet and your arms back until you feel a nice stretch in your upper back. And you can just hold that for 30 seconds. You can walk up and down the wall and stretch it out for 30 seconds, just whatever you're doing, but you're gonna stretch out that upper portion and middle part of your back. So that's the warm-up. You'll do 30 seconds for each of those. With the bent arm circles, make sure you do 30 seconds with one arm, switching about halfway through, and then 30 seconds with the opposite arm. Again, switching about 15 seconds through. You'll do the warm-up 2 times through, and then hop into the strength circuit portion, which we have 4 exercises for. We're gonna do it 3 rounds through. It's 12 repetitions for each exercise. And we're starting on the floor, on our bellies. We're doing Superman Pulldowns. So what you want is to zip your legs up together, so you bring your feet together, knees together. You're going to squeeze your glutes together and pull your chest a little bit up off the ground so that there's a little arch in your back. And then you're gonna reach your hands out and pull them down, okay? So we're just coming all the way through. We wanna make sure we're going through the full range of motion in this. We don't wanna do partial. We wanna come all the way, extend your hands all the way out, pull them back. If you have some lighter dumbbells, you can use those. You can grab like canned food items if you wanted to add a little bit of weight to it, but you're just doing that pull down motion. You're squeezing your shoulder blades together at the top of the contraction. So you do 12 Superman pull downs and then 12 sumo squats. So for a sumo squat, we point our toes outward. We have a wide leg stance. So you want your heel in line with the outside of your hip. That's kind of how you know that you are standing with your feet wide enough apart. And then all we're doing is squatting down. You can do whatever you want with your hands and coming back up. Part of the strength movement is coming from the insides of our thighs. So you're just going to squat down and press back up. So you do 12 sumo squats, and then you will find a wall, and I'm just going to lean up against this one, and we're going to do a wall sit with a Y raise. So you're going to hold the wall sit during the entire exercise, and so we want to make sure that we have our tailbone, back, shoulder blades flat up against the wall. I've got my feet at a hip width distance apart. What we're looking for in the wall sit is that we want our knees at a 90-degree angle and our hips at a 90-degree angle. That might not be in your deal today, totally fine. Do what you can, go to your degree, but know that if you're building up into this motion, is that what we're working toward is 90-degree angle in our knees, 90-degree angle in our hips. You're just going to hold the wall sit the whole time. And you're going to take your arms and just bring them into like a, it sort of looks like a, to me it looks like a Y, it might also be a V. You're just going to raise them up and down, okay? A couple weeks ago we did some isometric stuff, so that's where we imagine that our muscles are squeezing our bones. We're going to do the same thing in this, so that we have that contraction in our shoulders and in our arms. If you have dumbbells, or again, like water bottle, canned food, and you wanted to add some weight to an exercise like this, totally could do that too. And we're just coming up and down. So you do 12 repetitions of the Y raise while you're holding that wall sit. After that, you're going to come down to the floor into a hip bridge march, and we're going to do 12 reps on each leg, alternating, so it'll be a total of 24 repetitions if you count like 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. So what we do is we lay on our back. You want your heels about a fingertips length distance from you, so you'll just lay your hands flat on the floor in just a normal position, and if your heels touch the tips of your middle finger, you know that you are in, that's the distance you want between your heels and your bum. And then what you do is you raise your hips up off the floor. You can snuggle your shoulder blades in if you'd like, that can sometimes helps. You can also clasp your hands together if you'd like. I do that because it helps me feel a little bit more stable. And then all we're doing is just marching, just like that. So there's 1 each, here's 2 each, and we'll do that 12 times through. You should feel some contraction in your lower back. You'll definitely feel it in your glutes and your hamstrings. So those are hip bridge marches. We'll do the strength portion 3 times through, 12 reps on everything. I forgot to mention this at the beginning. I will put the description of the workout down below the video so that you can see that on this page. After we do our strength portion, we'll do the cardio circuit. And this week, I want to challenge you to try to do what we have written. So we're doing a 20 second of work to 10 seconds of rest thing. If the 10 seconds doesn't feel like enough time of rest in between, that is totally okay. You can add some time. You can do 20 seconds of work to 20 seconds of rest. But I want to challenge you to try at least for one round of it to do the 20 seconds to 10 seconds. But don't push yourself further than you are comfortable doing. I don't want anybody feeling like it's entirely too much. So we're going to do it 4 to 5 times through. You get to pick. So 20 seconds of squat thrusters, 10 seconds of rest, 20 seconds of 180-degree squat jumps, 10 seconds of rest, and you'll do the 2 4 or 5 times through. So it'll be a total of 4 to 5 minutes for this cardio portion. Like I've said in the past, if you wanted to bring the number of rounds down to 3 or 2, do whatever works best for you. These are recommendations, but just try, push yourself a little bit, but not so hard that you feel like it's impossible to do. So modify that time frame and the repetitions based on what feels best to you and your body. So a squat thrust, is you're going to start in a plank position. It's a portion, if you've ever done or seen a burpee, this is one level of it. You might be like, that's just a burpee, but these are called squat thrusts. So you're going to be in a plank position. When we're in plank, we don't want our hips up in the air in a down dog. We don't want them dropping and having that like dip in our back. We want a nice flat back. And all you're going to do is, from this plank position, you're going to jump your hands up, stand, come back down. Okay, these are squat thrusts. Just just like that. So you'll do those for 20 seconds. If jumping back and forth into the plank with both feet isn't your deal or doesn't feel good, that's okay. What you can do is you can step up and stand, step back and stand. Just making sure that you alternate which foot you're stepping forward and back with. So if you step forward with your right foot first and stand up, step back with your left foot, and then come forward with your left foot. Stand back with your right. Okay, so those are squat thrusts. You'll do those for 20 seconds, rest for 10, and then 180-degree squat jumps. These are kind of fun. You're gonna squat down and jump. Okay, landing in the squat. If you need to modify it a little bit, totally fine. You can do 90-degree squat jumps where you just jump just a quarter. So you do those for 20 seconds, rest for 10 seconds, do the whole thing 4 to 5 times through. Once you finish with your cardio circuit, catch your breath, grab some water if that's what you need, and then we'll get into the core portion. We've got 3 movements today, like we typically have 3 rounds through, 2 to 3 rounds through. Pick what is best, most right for you. Shoot for 3, but if you've got 2 and you do 2, if you've got 1 and you do 1. So we'll start with scorpion kicks. There are 2 ways we can do these. The movement that we're working toward is to be in a full plank position. So we've got our hands on the floor, wrists right underneath our elbows, and we're just kicking our foot over our body, working on a contraction through the low back. You might say that and be like, Mary, no, I am not doing that. That doesn't seem like my thing. So you can come down to the floor. Just put your arms out beside you. You want to have your chin in a nice neutral position so your neck isn't cranked back or tucked forward. And you're gonna lay flat on your belly and you're just gonna kick across. All right, so if in this movement you can come here and be fine, cool. If you can get your foot all the way back to the floor, that's awesome. Just go with your body's own range of motion. Don't push it or crank yourself or throw yourself into a position like that. Certainly not with your low back. We don't want to do anything that compromises the safety of our back or spine. So go to your degree of motion, but don't try to throw yourself into that. I'd rather you get half of a kick in and come back out safely than to throw your whole self into it and end up injured. So you do 6 each of those, so it'll be a total of 12 repetitions. You'll do 6 each leg, alternating scorpion kicks, and then come to your bum for a straight leg twist. So a lot of folks, you'll probably be familiar with it's called a Russian twist, which is where you have your feet up and your shins in like a tabletop position and you're alternating. These are a variation of that. What we're gonna do is keep our legs out straight and our legs flat on the floor. And you're just gonna hinge at the hips. I put my arms up here on my elbows. You can cross them across your chest. You can hold your hands in front of you, whatever you prefer. And you're just gonna twist from side to side. So you're gonna go 12 repetitions each way for a total of 24. So those are straight leg twists. And then last but not least is a 30-second plank hold. In a plank, I'm gonna grab my blanket so that I don't hurt my forearms because I have this hardwood floor. You can be on your forearms, or if you like, you can be in a fully extended plank. If you have some shoulder pain or weakness, I recommend the forearm because being in that fully extended plank puts a lot of pressure up on your shoulders. So you pick whichever feels best to you. I will do on my forearms. Imagine that your forearms are like a train track, the rails of a train track. And so you want them parallel to each other. If you want, you can just clasp your hands together, but we want in this forearm plank, you want your elbows directly beneath your shoulders. If you're doing this fully extended plank, you want your wrists below your shoulders. And you're just gonna hold it for 30 seconds. So with any plank position that we're doing, again, we don't want our hips way up in the air. We don't want them dip down. We just want a nice, as nice of a straight line as we can get. And so you're just gonna hold it for 30 seconds, come out of it. If you haven't done a plank in a while or ever, start with 10 seconds or 15 seconds and work your way up to the 30. If 30 doesn't feel like enough to you, then shoot for a minute. You don't have to do anything more than about 2 minutes, but just do what you can. And sometimes if I'm uncomfortable with something, and certainly with planks, because they can be kind of challenging, certainly because they can get a little boring, because you're just holding it there, you're not doing a whole lot of movement. But if you're trying to get yourself to that 30 seconds, or you're trying to push yourself up to a further time frame, hold it for, set a time. So if you're like, okay, I can do this for 15 seconds, hold it for 15 seconds, and then hold it for another 5 seconds, or hold it for another 10 seconds, and that's how you can build up to that 30 seconds if you're aiming for that, the 1 minute, the minute and a half, the 2 minutes, whatever it is that you're building up to. But when you get to that point where you're like, I'm done, hold it for another few more seconds, and then make that your target the next time you do it. So that's the core portion. So we have 6 each way of those scorpion kicks, 12 each way of the straight leg twists, and then a 30-second plank. Again, with the plank, if you need to do 10 seconds, 15 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, go with what you feels best to you, and most challenging. I hope that you have a really great workout. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or anything, please let us know. We're more than happy to answer the questions that you might have, or chat with you about anything that you might need a little bit more guidance on. I hope you have a really, really excellent workout. I will see you next week. The workout will be in the description below, and take it easy.